Hey math kids, today we're going to talk about compound angle identities, and just like the last couple videos, we're going to be heavily dependent on just looking at our sheet and using these identities. Okay, so this one we have sine of 270 degrees plus alpha, and if we look at the compound identity, I will write it. All right, so we need to use this one. We need to, we're going to consider this our A and consider this our B. And since this is a plus sign, we're going to follow the top all the way through. So we're going to use a plus sign and a plus sign. So I just need to write sine of 270 and then cosine of alpha plus cosine of 270 and sine alpha. Now, if we look at our unit circle, 270 is right here, and our point right there would be 0, -1. And so the sine value is going to go to a -1. And then we have cosine alpha. And then this cosine value is going to go to 0. Then we have sine alpha. And so that goes away, and this is just negative cosine alpha. Okay? Next one, we have cosine 3 theta, cosine theta minus sine 3 theta, sine theta. All right, so since we have cosine, cosine, sine, sine, we want to find the compound identity that does that, and it's going to be this one. Okay. So just like the previous one, the thing in the first spot, that's going to be our A and B, and notice this is the same A and B. Since this is a minus sign, it means we follow the top. So when we write this, it's just going to be cosine of A, which is 3 theta, plus B, which is just theta. So we went kind of backwards. We see that this matched up with this, and so we're going to write this, and then we just add those, so it's cosine of 4 theta. Okay, so it says without using our calculator, we need to show that sine of 75 degrees is the square root of 6 plus the square root of 2, all divided by 4. Alright, so this one's a little tricky because we need to recognize that sine of 75 can be written as sine of 45 plus 30. So once we recognize that, or think of this type of approach, we can use these formulas just to figure it out. Okay, so our sine, I'll just write it down again. A plus or minus B equals sine A cosine B plus or minus cosine A sine B. So for doing this, I'm calling this A, I'm calling this B, and so we get sine 45 cosine 30. Since that's a plus sign, we're going to follow the top, so plus. Cosine 45 sine 30. Okay, if we look at our unit circle, 45 is our second tick mark. The second tick mark is square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. And then 30 is our first tick mark, which gives us square root of 3 halves, 1 half. Okay, all we need to do is plug that in. I'm going to get rid of the identity itself, so I can plug it in right above it. So sine 45 is the y value, so it's square root of 2 over 2. Cosine 30, that's the x value, so square root of 3 halves. Cosine 45, square root of 2 over 2. Sine 30 is the y value, so 1 half. Alright, if we multiply these together, this one's going to be square root of 6 over 4, and this is going to be square root of 2 over 4. And if we just add those together, we can put them both over 4, and then it becomes this.